Yesterday, I got to attend a special event in New York City hosted by Amazon when they announced 4 new Kindles for 2024. I got some special hands-on time with all the new devices, and in this video, I'm going to break down everything you have to know about these new Kindles. Now, before jumping into all the details, I have to say this is a very cool experience. As a relatively small YouTuber, it's always been a dream of mine to attend an event like this, and even though I'm not sponsored by Amazon and they have no influence whatsoever over the videos that I make, I have to say thank you for this opportunity, and hopefully I can do more fun stuff like this in the future. Now, like I mentioned, Amazon announced 4 new Kindles, but in reality what that means is they actually refreshed 3 of their existing Kindles and they announced 1 new one, and I bet you could probably guess what that new one is. Let's start from the bottom of the product lineup and work our way up. Now, the first device that Amazon announced at this event was the brand new refreshed Kindle Basic. Now, I have to say during the event, this device felt almost like an afterthought. They breezed through the details of this refresh in under 1 minute. There really isn't too much to it. The new Kindle Basic is basically the same thing as before. It still has that 6-inch screen, it still fits in your pocket, and it's still the most affordable Kindle you can buy. The only new differences of the new Kindle Basic is the fact that it's 10% faster and 25% brighter, and it also comes in this new fun matcha color, which I know my wife is absolutely gonna love. Now, they did mention that the new Kindle Basic has a slightly improved contrast ratio, but honestly, when I used it, I did not see much of a difference. It wasn't very noticeable compared to before. Now, the biggest drawback of the Kindle Basic has not changed. The new version also does not have warm light, so when you're reading at night, you cannot adjust the temperature of the screen to be a bit of a warmer hue. I personally find that very useful when reading in bed, and it also does not have any kind of water resistance, so depending on your needs, those 2 things might be a deal breaker. Now, the new Kindle Basic is out as of today, and it starts at a price of $109 US. The next new Kindle that Amazon is releasing today is the refreshed Kindle Paperwhite and Kindle Paperwhite Signature Edition. Now, the first difference between the new Paperwhite and the old one is a slightly larger screen. They were able to shrink the bezels by just a little bit and increase the screen size to a full 7 inches diagonal. When I first picked up this new Kindle Paperwhite, I definitely noticed the increased screen size. It is a very nice quality of life update. The next update to the Paperwhite are 3 color options. You have this nice jade option, you have a new raspberry option, and also the standard black option. I'm a big fan of these new colors. They're so fun and bright. Now, there is a slight difference in color between the Signature Edition and the regular Kindle Paperwhite. The Signature Edition has a bit more of a metallic look to it. They told me there's a bit of an aluminum plating to it. Now, it does not feel like a metal material at all. It feels more like a plastic, but it definitely has more of a shine when you compare it to the soft touch baseline Kindle Paperwhite. The Signature Edition definitely has more of a brighter tone to it. Now, the last update to the Kindle Paperwhite, and certainly not least, is the new oxide screen technology. Let me explain what that means. The first improvement because of this new screen is a better contrast ratio. Supposedly, you're going to get deeper blacks and sharper text. Again, this is very subtle. I didn't see much of a difference when I looked at it for the first time, but it's supposed to be there, and I do believe them. On the other hand, something I did notice right away is the speed improvement that we get with this new screen technology. We're getting 25% faster page turns. Now, I've got to say, this thing is shockingly fast when it comes to page turns. It is very noticeable, and if you really want to tap with your finger very, very fast, you can swipe through an entire book within seconds. Turning pages on a Kindle is a thing that we'll all be doing the most while reading books, so having a speed improvement does make a big difference across the entire Kindle software, and I really do enjoy any kind of speed improvement when it comes to Kindle. Now, in terms of the Signature Edition, that is exactly the same as before. It's the same thing as the Kindle Paperwhite with a few extra bells and whistles, such as wireless charging, an ambient light sensor for automatic brightness adjustment, and some additional storage. Now, the new Kindle Paperwhite will be available for $159 US, or the Signature Edition for $199 US. Again, both these devices are available today for order. Now, before telling you about this new color Kindle that was announced, I do want to tell you my favorite part of the event was not actually about any of these new Kindles. It was the emphasis that the Kindle team was placing on the love they all had for reading. At the end of the day, we use a Kindle to read books. It does not matter which one you have. All that matters is that you have a love for reading, that you enjoy reading the books that you have, and that really shine through in all of their presentations. Now, if you are looking for some extra accountability to improve your reading habit, and if you're interested in reading more nonfiction books, I want to invite you to my book club called Presently Reading. Every month, I choose a new nonfiction book to read, and I read it alongside a community of over 1,500 bookworms from around the world. I've been doing this now for a few years. It's been a great experience. If you're interested in joining, it's completely for free. Link down below for all the details. All right, we saw this coming for a very long time now. It's been years in the making, but it's finally here. Amazon has officially announced their color Kindle. They're calling it the Kindle Colorsoft. The Colorsoft is the same exact shape and design as the Paperwhite, but with a much more advanced screen that can show colors and not just black and white content. Now, during the event, Amazon kept telling me what their goal was for the Colorsoft. They wanted to make a color Kindle with no compromises. They wanted to make a color Kindle that would live up to the same expectations you have for a black and white Kindle, but also have that brand new color technology. Now, whether or not Amazon achieved their goal of no compromises with the Colorsoft Kindle is still a question mark in my mind. I did get a chance to use the Colorsoft for a short period of time during the event, and I did enjoy it a lot, but I still have the same exact hesitations I have with any other color e-reader. The new Kindle Colorsoft is using the same Kaleido color filter technology that we're seeing in other devices, such as the Kobo Libra Color, and because of this new filter that's being added to the display, the screen brightness is noticeably dimmer and the clarity is not as sharp as what we're used to with black and white Kindles. Whether or not you read color books or just black and white books, if you buy a Kindle Colorsoft, the screen will always have this hazy effect to it. I did try my best to take some close-up images, especially side by side with the regular black and white Kindle, and you can clearly tell the clarity is not as sharp on the Colorsoft. Now, even though the Colorsoft is not as crispy and has a bit of a darker screen, Amazon did put a lot of effort, time, money, and energy into inventing technology for the Colorsoft that would make sure the colors are as enhanced as possibly can be. For example, I had the chance to speak to one of the engineers who worked on the display when designing the Colorsoft Kindle, and they told me about the nitride LEDs that are pointing in a very specific angle to ensure the light is absorbed in the correct way for color accuracy, as well as display coding they're using with an algorithm to ensure the colors are saturated in the right way. There is so many technical details that they put into this Colorsoft to make it as high quality as possible. So in theory, it should be much better when you compare it to a regular Kaleido filter. This device has a few extra layers of tech to make the colors that much better. Now, I haven't had the chance yet to compare the Colorsoft against these other color e-readers to see if that color accuracy is actually better or not, but I can definitely tell they put some time and energy into the details, and I really do appreciate that. Now, one detail that did stand out to me was the simplicity of the software. And if you ask me, simplicity of software will be a major feature that will set the Colorsoft apart from other color e-ink devices. When I was reading on the Colorsoft, I found out pretty quickly that the device is really smart. It actually knows when I'm looking at a color page versus a black and white page. When I'm swiping through random black and white pages, the refresh is very quick, almost as fast as the regular Kindle Paperwhite that we just saw a few minutes ago. But when I'm reading color pages, it does slow down a little bit and refresh the entire page to prevent ghosting. This smart software is happening all in the background. There is no different modes or settings you have to change. The Kindle will just know when to refresh the screen for you at what frequency to make sure you get the best experience. There are two color options you have to choose from in the settings if you do want to adjust one small detail. There is a standard color profile as well as a vivid profile. So when you're reading comic books, if there are some details that are missing, you can try turning on the vivid mode and that might help bring those details out. Now, this new color Kindle is coming out on October 30th at a price of $279 US, so definitely a more expensive and premium Kindle. Pre-orders start today. If you read color comic books, manga, graphic novels, this might be a no-brainer for you, but if you do read primarily black and white books, I think this might be something you should investigate a bit more. I can't wait to get my hands on one to do a deeper dive review. The last new Kindle announcement we have today is the brand new Kindle Scribe. Now, during the announcement, they spent the most time talking about the Kindle Scribe, so clearly this is a high priority for Amazon. In terms of hardware, they redesigned the entire front of the device. They replaced the black bezels with these new white borders, and I have to say I'm a big fan of them. Usually I'm not a fan of white bezels because they're distracting when you're reading, but for a device like the Scribe where you're writing primarily and have a paper-like feeling, you want to have those white bezels to make it more like a notebook experience, and that is exactly what they were going for. This new design also comes in two colors. You have the regular black and tungsten option that we've been used to, but you now also have this new jade color, which is like a teal, and again, I like this one a lot because it makes the device feel much more fun and less formal. So if you're using this device for personal use, this jade color might be a fun option to choose. Now, what I do think makes a big difference in enhancing the notebook feeling of the Kindle Scribe is the redesigned pen. It's now made of this new metallic material, and I gotta say the best feature of this pen is the redesigned eraser. Now, a complaint that I had with the previous Kindle Scribe pen was it was a plastic eraser. It felt very unnatural when you used it. On this new Scribe pen, they actually used a rubber material. When you use the eraser on the Kindle Scribe now, it feels like using a real pencil to erase things, and you have this natural desire to want to wipe away those eraser marks that you normally get when using a real pencil on paper, and it just feels super realistic, and I gotta say, I applaud the Kindle Scribe team for making this experience so natural to use. Now, everything else that is new with the Kindle Scribe is software related and will also be released for the old Kindle Scribe, so it is not locked to the new version. If you already have a Scribe, you will be getting all the new software features as well. Now, I should also mention that the new pen that was just announced is also backwards compatible with the old Kindle Scribe, which is a really awesome thing that Amazon did. Now, in terms of what the new software features are for the Kindle Scribe, we're now having AI features being brought into the notebook functionality. There's two new AI features being added. One is called Refine Writing, and the other one is called Summarization. The Refine Writing tool is really interesting, especially if you're a messy writer like I am. If your handwriting isn't very neat and you write things all over the place or not aligned properly on the page, the Refine Writing button will clean up all your handwriting and make it look nice and neat on your notebook. The Summarization feature is also very interesting. It'll first refine all your handwriting, make it look nice and clean, and then it will send all of that data to the cloud to an AI model to summarize what you wrote. And then you can add that summary to the beginning of your notebook or the end of your notebook. Now, Amazon did mention that all these AI features are end-to-end encrypted and that they will not be using the data to train AI models. So privacy is definitely top of mind for these kind of things. But these new features will make it much more useful to use the notebook functionality on a Kindle Scribe. Now, personally, when I use my Kindle Scribe, I often read books on it, and they did add some new features for readers. If you like to read on your Kindle Scribe, there's this new active canvas feature. Now, ever since the Kindle Scribe came out, writing directly in Kindle books was not an option. You have to use the sticky note feature or take a note, and if you want to do markups, you have to use PDFs. But now, this new active canvas feature does allow you to do some writing in your Kindle books. Essentially, all you have to do is start writing anywhere on the page on top of the text in the book, and then what will happen is it'll create this little text box and wrap the book around your ink. At this point, you can change the dimensions of your text box, make it bigger or smaller so you can add more to it. But the cool thing is that this will be anchored exactly where you put it. So if you change the font of your Kindle book, the text box that you created through the active canvas feature will actually stay exactly where you put it. Now, in addition to this active canvas feature, they're also making this new expandable margin feature, which will be coming out early next year. I actually love this margin feature a lot. You can swipe out this little margin from the side of the book to write your notes in, and then swipe it back to hide it, and that will just always be there on the side for you waiting when you want to write your handwritten notes. The cool thing about the margins as well is that they'll be scrollable, so you can go up and down and have as many notes as you want on a single page, and these margins will always be available to hide or show. And lastly, a very small quality of life improvement when it comes to highlighting on Kindle Scribe is now you can actually choose between highlighting or underlining. When you use the pen on a Kindle Scribe to underline some text, it'll automatically make your line nice and straight and snap it to the text. And same thing, if you use the highlighter on some text while reading a Kindle book, it'll automatically snap your highlight to the text to make it nice and straight. These are very nice quality of life improvements, especially for people who like to annotate like me. Now, this new Kindle Scribe is not out quite yet. It's available for pre-order today, and it'll be shipping on December 4th at a price of $399 US. Now, I do plan on doing several reviews for all of these new Kindles over the coming weeks and months. There is so much to talk about that I cannot fit into this one video, so stay tuned and subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions about these Kindles, leave them in the comments down below as well so I can answer them. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.